Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's Enrique with another BRAP review. This is the review for Gears 5, the highly anticipated Gears 5. Now, I do my reviews a little bit different. These are really off the cuff, from the heart, and I approach my reviews very much the same way I do my famous BRAP rants. So, again, it's a lot of this is off the cuff and, like I said, from the heart, because I am a passionate gamer, goddammit. But anyhow, this is my review for Gears 5. I want to give a big shout out to Aaron Greenberg and the Coalition for providing me with a review copy for Gears 5. Now, let me tell you something, guys. I am a Gears of War fan through and through. I have been a Gears fan since 2006 when the first Gears was released on the Xbox 360. And Gears is an iconic franchise. Revolutionized the third-person cover-based shooter genre, and it was a big reason why the Xbox 360 was very successful last console generation. And so, to no surprise, when Microsoft approached Epic Games and bought the rights for Gears of War and brought back executive producer Rod Ferguson to helm what became, which was once Black Tusk Studios, which is now the Coalition. They brought him back to be the figurehead at Coalition and supervise the development of this game. We got Gears 4. And look, guys, Gears 4, for some of us, was maybe not the game that we anticipated for a next-gen console or the next generation of Gears games. It sort of played it very safe. That was a criticism of that game. It introduced a new protagonist in Kate Diaz and J.D. Phoenix, who we really weren't familiar with. All we knew was Marcus Phoenix, Marcus and his crew. And look, guys, Marcus Phoenix is an iconic character. And my only complaint with Gears 4 is I felt like they kind of held on to Marcus Phoenix a little bit too much. But in this game, they definitely passed the torch to Kate as the main protagonist. And the job they did with fleshing her character out, the voice acting in this is superb. Now, let me talk a bit about the visuals in this game. The visuals in this game are incredible. Some of the best HDR implementation that I've seen in any game this console generation, and one of the best looking games that I've played this console generation. The Coalition has done a wonderful job in terms of production values and the visual presentation of this game. The voice acting is superb. The action is intense, as you can see here. It is just a great, big budget AAA title. This is what we expect. This is what we've been clamoring and talking about as Xbox fans, that we wanted a title like this that had high production values, great attention to detail, interesting characters, great voice acting. Gears 5 has all of those things, and it's a better Gears than Gears 4. I can tell you that the story is a little more engaging. The narrative is much better, and as I mentioned, the voice acting is superb. They fleshed out Kate as a protagonist, and I'm looking forward to the future of Gears. And one of the things that I'll say about the story in this game, it's definitely the strong point of Gears 5. There are some moments in this game that kind of punch you in the gut. There's some things that you see that really, and experience through the eyes of the protagonist, that really help you connect with these characters and connect with Kate, JD, Marcus, Dell. Dell's another character they fleshed out and do a really great job in terms of getting you, the gamer, to really care about Dell, who, we really didn't know too much about prior to Gears 5. And, after playing this game, you get a good idea of who he is through some of the friendly banter that goes back and forth. But this game is a tremendous accomplishment in terms of its story, its narrative. I really found myself engaged. Now, that being said, the Coalition did try to add and expand upon the Gears franchises. They have included some light RPG elements. They included larger open worlds, which we all know about the skiff. The skiff is actually a lot of fun to traverse in these open worlds, but again, they do introduce a lot of some newer light RPG elements with Jack, the android robot who accompanies you in a lot of your missions and helps you in combat. You can actually explore the maps and actually get parts to upgrade Jack so that he can do different things like provide a cover shield for you that lasts a couple seconds. He can actually allow you to cloak yourself to go stealth, or go invisible. He can actually shock the enemy swarm. He can actually take over the mind of an enemy swarm after one of the upgrades you do for him, where the swarm that he takes over will actually fight and turn on the other swarm that you're engaged in combat with. So some very, again, light RPG elements. I would have loved them to maybe add some maybe deeper customizations in terms of weapons, armor sets, your character appearance, maybe some of the things that we see in RPGs, or maybe things that we've seen similar to the games like God of War, which came out for the PlayStation 4 this console generation. But other than that, those are things that the Coalition could probably build upon. Now, to the open worlds. Again, the open worlds are huge. You're on the skiff. You traverse through these open worlds with the skiff. The open worlds look great. A lot of great attention to detail. You'll notice there's a lot of banter between yourself, the protagonist, and the NPC. And there's definitely interesting banter here. It's definitely something you want to pay attention to. But I got to say this. I do have one complaint with regards to the open world. It does feel a little empty, a little lifeless. The side missions I found boring, and I did find that there was a little bit of some pacing issues with this game. And what I mean by that is when I was coming out of Act 1 and just the intense fighting and the emotion, the adrenaline was going, and then you get into this open world, and while it looks beautiful, it's a little lifeless. And the side missions seem kind of boring. I mean, they're there to kind of break things up. You don't have to do the side missions, and if you do the side missions, there's obviously some small rewards, some weapons you can get. There's some upgrades to the characters that you can get to, but it's nothing that's going to be game changing per se. And even some of the engagements that you have with some of the enemy swarm aren't much different than you find from the story. So that kind of broke up the pace for me to go from a lot of the intense action in the smaller setting that I was in to go to this big open world to explore, and it just felt a little disjointed for me. It's something that I think the Coalition, not a bad thing that they tried it. They're definitely tiptoeing, kind of, it seems like maybe putting their feet in the water with open world, but I would like for them to kind of maybe expand upon that in the next Gears. Maybe bring more life, bring different new NPCs, where maybe you can get missions from and have dialogue with, and maybe change up the combat that you have with the swarm when you're in these open worlds. Maybe, I don't know, maybe have different kind of waves or different enemy types, or different things that you can do, as opposed to the traditional shooting galleries that you see in Gears and the Gears franchises. So again, not a game-breaking thing, just a minor complaint, something that kind of bothered me a little bit. But again, nothing that ruined the overall experience for me. Again, kind of a minor complaint, but something that's there. Now, there are some bugs in this game. Some of the folks that I've seen more recently on social media have been mentioning that they've had to restart over several chapters because of in-game progress not being saved. I had that happen to me twice, where I had to restart, and that's unfortunate, considering how great this game is, that there's this bug out there, and hopefully the Coalition is working on that and will have a fix soon. But again, I mean, these are things that necessarily aren't extremely game-breaking to the game, but they're there regardless. So now I do want to go back to the protagonist, Kate. I gotta say, I didn't really care about Kate as much in Gears 4, and I certainly didn't care about JD. You may have heard me joking around on BRAP that I wanted to, I thought that they should kill off JD as a plot twist, and the way they flesh out JD in this Gears, I actually cared about JD. And then you see Kate going through this thing, hearing those voices. And we saw that in the commercial, and when they first revealed Gears at E3, you start learning about what these voices mean to her and why she's connected to the swarm the way she is. And it's really interesting. She has a lot of great dialogue moments. She shows a lot of emotion. She shows anger. She shows leadership in this. Kate is a likable character in this game, and that's considering that Marcus Phoenix has been the main protagonist and kind of that dude bro protagonist. I think this is a nice change of pace for the Gears franchise, and I found myself liking Kate at the end and really connecting with her as a character, which I think is very important when you're looking at a story-driven game and you're looking at so much emphasis placed in the narrative. And same thing with Dell. I mean, Dell was somebody we didn't know a lot about, and here we are in Gears 5. They really flesh him out and really build upon his relationship with Kate and JD, and you really care about these characters, which I think is a tremendous feat for Gears. It just isn't this dude bro shooter. There's a strong story there. There's characters that you can care about in this game. So the Coalition, I think, has really set this franchise up for success with the next Gears. I'm really looking forward to seeing what that's going to look like on the Xbox Scarlet next console generation. So, guys, I'm going to say this again. If you own an Xbox One, you owe it to yourself to play this game. You can pick it up in Game Pass right now for $1. I've got the Ultimate Edition is out right now. Full retail release for this game will be September the 10th. Now, the moment you all been waiting for. I'm going to give this game an 8.5 out of 10. It is a great game. There are some minor issues with this game, as I mentioned, the pacing, some of the bugs, some of the issues that I had with the open world. But all in all, it's a great game, and you should definitely check it out. Guys, hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the support. Until next time.